Hey all, Raz here, and this time, well, first off, this is the second video of the Humble Clickteam Fusion bundle, just to show you what the games are and how they are, because who knows, you may see one game in these videos that pushes you from being, I don't know if I want it, to, oh my god, yes, I want that, or the other way around, from I don't know if I want it, to hell no, I don't know, so I figure I'll do these and maybe it'll help. At any rate, this one is called Concrete Jungle. I think it's a Sim City, think like the Super Nintendo version of Sim City kind of thing, where you've gotta build things.
Welcome
I
to
don't
the
know.
small town of Hollyville. My name is Lainey, and I'm here to show you the ropes. Looking around is pretty easy. You can use the right mouse or the keyboard's cursor or W, A, S, and D keys.
Gotta love how it's voice read.
You can also zoom in and out using the mouse wheel or the R and F keys. In front of you, there is a small grid upon which you can place buildings. Those buildings are determined by a series of cards. Let's draw some now and get started.
I've never played a game like this that was focused on cards.
That will do nicely.
That's new.
At the top here is the next card in your build list. It's a school, pretty useful. On the card is a small 3x3 grid with a building icon in the middle. This displays the building's effect on its adjacent tiles. Blue squares represent +1 point, so the school will give +1 points to the tiles immediately adjacent to it.
Okay.
With a card selected, you can now place it. Notice how the blue highlights represent the area effect as displayed on the card. Let's put the school here. You'll notice there are now some plus score markers on the empty tiles that were affected by the school. If we place point collecting buildings on those positive scoring tiles, we'll get points. It just so happens the next card in your build list is a houses card. By far the most common point collecting building. Notice how it tells you on the card if the building collects points or not. So let's get some points.
It does?
Great!
I would hate to live next door to a school,
We now
personally.
have 1 point due to the combination of the school's area effect and the house. We have a target to reach for each column. Currently, that target is 2. You can see your current target right here in the top right. In order to fulfill that target for each column, we need to use a combination of buildings that affect their surroundings and point collecting buildings. Next up, we have a car wash. This card also has some red squares, which means it will have a negative effect on those tiles. But crucially, it has positive effects in the places we need right now to bring our house up to 2. Select and place the car wash so that our house is given another point. We now have 2 points in the first column thanks to our house, school, and car wash. Also notice how the red negative area effect from the car wash canceled out one of the points from the school. Now the first column is complete. Look what happens. See that? The column has been cleared. That means you bank the points from that column, which are then multiplied and added to your total score. It also means you get a new empty column to build in here on the right. The immediate aim of the game is always to clear the first column, but you'll have to plan ahead with your building placements in order to do that for future columns. Those are the basics, but let me show you what happens if you forget to place a point collecting building in a column. Fill this column with the following non-point collecting buildings. If any building area effects spill off the side of the grid, they will have no effect. You can use this to your advantage sometimes. Now we have no point collecting buildings in this column. This will likely happen to you sometimes, but just to be clear, it's something you want to try and avoid. And not just because we have a brewery and factory next to a school. With no means of collecting points, this column cannot reach its target. Therefore, it's just going to sit there while we fill up the rest of the empty land. We need to force clear it. Once the first column is filled, you'll notice this little button flashing at you. All we have to do is click it to force clear. Great! However, force clearing isn't free, it costs you 1 life. You can see how many lives you have left here. Make sure you use your lives sparingly. Once you run out, you'll fail the level. Now see if you can complete past this column here using the next batch of buildings.
Okay, let's see. It's here. Jeez, okay. Yeah, I totally kind of failed this one. Let's move my camera.
Looks like you're ready for the next challenge.
Whatever, managed to beat it at least. I'm not entirely sure what I think about this one. I mean, it's interesting, definitely, but I don't know if it's really something that I particularly like. I'll try one more round and we'll see.
Since you did such a good job at Hollyville, well, apart from the whole school, factory, brewery debacle, which was kind of my fault, I've hired you to develop in the county of Luther Fields, a small commuter town south of the city. You know what to do, just a few small differences this time. You now have 2 times as many build slots. You can now choose your next building from either of the cards in the white bracket area.
Okay, that's cool.
Oh, the excitement! Us government employees need to appreciate the little things.
Oh, excuse me.
I've also thrown some new buildings into the mix. This is a green. Yes, the card is yellow, get used to it. It's one of my favorite entry-level cards. It lets you choose a tile around it to give +1 to. Super useful!
That is useful.
All you have to do with a green is place it where you want as normal. Some blue icons will then appear to show you where you can apply the card's buff. Just select where you want to apply the buff. Easy! If you decide to cancel the placement after you have clicked, you can do so by clicking the X icon that appears over the chosen build position. If you ever get confused about what a card does, you can right-click on any card at any time in the game to have a closer look and find out more about what it does. You need to develop the land without running out of lives. This bar here shows you how close you are from completion. It will fill with blueness as you clear columns. One more thing. The column target is now set at 3. Nothing you can't handle, right? Good. I'm going back to City Hall. I've got so much paperwork to do with the coming election. Catch you later.
Alright, let's see. One done. This really is interesting, I guess would be the best way to put it. I mean, it's really not my type of game as a whole, but that's not to say it's particularly bad. Oops, wrong spot. Oh well. Oh, I need to get whatever.
Excellent.
Okay, this game isn't too bad. It's not quite my taste though. Although who knows, I could sit and play this a fair bit while wasting time. So, this was video 2 from the Humble Clickteam Fusion Bundle series that I'm doing. I have a few other games to do, yada yada yada, because I got the bundle myself specifically to do these videos. And I really do hope they help somebody decide whether or not they want the bundle. At any rate, there will be a link in the description below to the Humble page for this bundle. There will also be a link in the description for like directly to the Steam store page for this game, just on the off chance you miss the bundle yet you still want the game. Along with that, there will be links to my Twitter for updates if you want them, my Patreon, just on the off chance you want to help support me get these bundles and such, and my Steam game list just in case you want to see what games I have and make suggestions based on that, or suggestions on games to buy. But please never forget, a like, a comment, and a subscription are all greatly appreciated. They let me know you enjoy what I'm doing, you appreciate the fact that I'm doing it, and you want to see more. But, at any rate, stay cool, cats. This is Raz, out.